All right, Shalom. First, I'd like to start by saying all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, this is just scriptures on well, this is back in the actually the packet that we did. I'm just going with the basics right now, and this next topic is what color is Yahweh Shai, which is so-called Jesus Christ, and the apostles. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. It says, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, and the seven candlesticks represented the church of Asia Minor. Churches of Asia Minor. One like unto the Son of Man, which is Yahweh Shai. Let me see. This is my favorite scripture, when I first came into the truth, studying so much, I was looking to prove who the Son of Man was, because, you get questions like that when you're dealing with Jake, because they don't know nothing about the scriptures. So this is Matthew chapter 26, verse 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, And it came to pass when Yahweh Shai had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed by Judas Iscariot to be crucified. Right? So that's proving who the Son of Man was. All right, this Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. This is what Yahweh Shai had on. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, white in color, woolly in texture. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Right? So his feet fine brass, and then throw that in the furnace. Yahweh Shai, which so-called Jesus Christ, is black. And his voice as the sound of many waters. Right, so Yahweh Shai had a voice that carried, everybody could hear him, because he had to teach so many people, and he was out there. Slack you. This is Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. It says, Then I looked up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine gold of Uphaz. Right? This is Yahweh Shai. This is the continuation of that Revelations. That's why the scriptures say, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. This book is like a maze, a puzzle. You got to put it together. His body also was like the beryl, which was a color green, and his face as the appearance of lightning because of the wisdom he had, right? So he had on a greenish garment. That's why I said the beryl, and his face as his appearance of lightning, right? Because of all of his wisdom. Scriptures say, wisdom maketh a man face to shine, and his eyes as lamps of fire. They got that fiery eyes again, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. So it gave a little more description, you know, because I think we had a woman that said, well, her feet don't match her body. Edomite, man. Edomite devils, man. And his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude, right? So, you know, that's self-explanatory. One second. All right, this is Song of Solomon. Chapter 1. This is Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. This is Solomon speaking, who was Yahushua in the reincarnation. I am black. Yahushua was Solomon in the reincarnation. I am black, but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Right, so King Solomon was black. This is to get them images out your head of them being Edomites, white people, Caucasians, man, crackers, devils. They only put them up there as them colors for racial superiority. This is Jeremiah chapter 8. Let me see. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 21. For the hurt of the daughter of my people and my hurt, I am black. Astonishment hath taken hold of me. Right, so Jeremiah was black also. This is Job chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. Right, so Job was black. That's another cut to Christianity. They lifting these Edomite devils up on high, like they were the righteous, holy people in the world. But as you can see, look at their deeds now today. You know, versus how the prophets, the teachers, the apostles acted back in the ancient world. So much BS coming out on these devils, it don't make sense. Look how they ruled the world, but they're the righteous, holy people. Even them Khazar Jews, man. This is Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, which means black, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Right, so the prophets and the teachers back in the day were black, man. And this is just to prove, you know, the colors of the prophets and the teachers, man. You know, what's in the scriptures, man. You know, there is a such thing as confusion of faces, you know. We come in many colors, but I'm going through precepts that specifically tell you what color these people were in that day, man. This is Acts chapter 21. Chapter 21, verse 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? And yeah, see, as you can see, he was mistaken for an Egyptian. The Egyptians are what color? Black. The Egyptians are not in their land today, man. The majority of them. You got Ishmael over there inhabiting their land, man. But the Egyptians, the original Egyptians, were black. And, you know, just for a side note, there's going to be a lot of people waking up, you know, uproaring behind the scriptures, behind this Bible, man. You know, because it's in the book. But like the Lord said, 2/3 must be cut off and die. So it's all part of prophecy. Isaiah chapter 29. Oh. Okay, no, that ain't it. This is Ezekiel. Chapter 1, verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, and a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire, that's Yahushua's return with the lights of the chariots. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, which represents the angels, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. That's the point. The angels are brown. They even got Edomites online stating that they're brown, man, because they been abducted by him and beat up by him. So yeah, with that being said, all praise to Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations for the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Shalom.